Hi everyone, in today's speed build I'm making a mid-century modern tiny home, as you can already tell by the title and the thumbnail of the video, but I love the look of mid-century modern homes and it's been one of my favorite styles for quite some time. I grew up watching HGTV and I love watching like house hunters and things like that, so anytime I saw a mid-century modern home I always felt like it's something that if I was to ever buy a house, I would probably want something in that style if I was to find one that, you know, was available and in really good condition and everything. But I've never tried to build a mid-century modern home in The Sims because I honestly, I didn't know which direction to go with this home, and I did look at a bunch of reference images to try to help me out, but a lot of them were pretty big and I knew I wanted to make a tiny home, so trying to recreate something that's big and make it smaller isn't that easy, especially if you're trying to make it a little bit more unique. So I ended up kind of doing my own thing. I did struggle with creating the shell of the house, if you couldn't tell, and I did struggle with the roof quite a bit too, and even now I'm not completely happy with it, I guess, but I think it did turn out okay. And sorry if you can tell that I'm kind of talking weird. I'm actually wearing a face mask right now while I'm recording this, so it's kind of, I think, making my voice sound a little bit muffled, but yeah, I have a bunch of stuff that I need to do today and I needed to wear a face mask because like it's like a skin mask, you know, it's not like the mask like to protect yourself from the COVID or anything like that. Like I'm at home and I need to take care of my skin because I've been lacking a little bit in that department. But yeah, so I'm wearing a face mask right now, trying to rehydrate my skin and everything, and trying to record this voiceover at the same time because I'm in a rush and I need to get this done and I want to get this video up. So yeah, sorry about that. And if you can hear all kinds of weird noise in the background, I apologize about that too. My dogs like to bark and there's a bunch of people driving around outside causing all kinds of noises and everything. So, but anyway, as you can see, at first I was going with a kind of red, white, and blue color scheme, but then I ended up completely changing it, and I changed the front door to green and the windows to green because as I was looking at some references to try to get a better idea of what I wanted to do for the furniture and everything, a lot of the pictures I looked at, they had a lot of green and orange in the decor, like especially in the 1950s. Unfortunately, a lot of the pictures that I found were more actual modern takes on mid-century modern, which is, you know, kind of weird. But yeah, I wanted to go for the actual like 1950s look, not a modern version of the 50s style. So I was trying to, you know, incorporate that look more into this build, and I really wanted to use the green and like light blue and teal and things like that. And but at the same time, I do love having like warm accents, you know, with orange, and in some cases, like in other builds, I've used yellow and red and things like that. But I do lean towards more cooler tone palettes, if you couldn't tell by any of my previous builds or anything. But I love using, you know, blues and grays and things like that. So with this house, I really wanted to incorporate a lot of green, and then I love having the little, you know, pops of orange everywhere. So I actually really love the way the kitchen and the dining room turned out in this house. Although for the living room, I don't know if it would really be considered mid-century modern. I did use a lot of the furniture in the game that's mid-century modern style, but I kind of feel like the way I did the living room, it kind of leans towards closer to like the 60s, 70s time frame, I guess, like with the wood paneling. I don't know. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I just feel like it does kind of have a somewhat closer to the 60s, 70s vibe to the living room. And then but I did, you know, try to make sure I incorporate the orange and the green and stuff, but I was really trying not to make everything super matching because I used to do that a lot, especially when I first started, and I'm trying to get out of that. Like, I feel like houses in The Sims look more interesting and more, I guess, realistic when not all of the furniture matches perfectly. So I've really been trying to incorporate that into my builds lately, and just trying to think a little bit outside the box, like making things match to an extent, but still having enough variation that it doesn't look like I just went and grabbed all the same furniture and just made them all the same swatch color and everything like that. So I was really trying to stay away from that in this build especially. And then when I go to the bedroom area, or I think I do the bathroom first, yeah. And I put the laundry or like the washer and dryer in the bathroom, but it's only for a single sim, so I wasn't really so concerned about the fact that the bathroom door is inside the bedroom. Like at first when I was doing the floor plan, I was trying to figure out a way to make it that there was access to the bathroom from like the living room area and everything, but when I was doing the bedroom, I realized that there was only room for a single wide bed anyway, so that's why I didn't mind so much that the bathroom door is off of the bedroom. So, but again, in the bathroom, I just kind of kept with the same color scheme, and I did put the mirror on the window, and because I didn't want to have to worry about making the wall bare, like I wanted to keep the window there, and I didn't want to not put the mirror, so I just put the mirror on the window, and whatever, it's fine. And then when I was doing the bedroom, so at first I was really trying to use the double wide bed, but I feel like there just wasn't room. I was trying to make it work, and I was trying to figure out a way that I could maybe have the sim fit around it and everything, but I didn't want to have to play test this house, and I didn't want to worry about the bed not being accessible to the sim, so I just went ahead and gave them put a single wide bed. So this house is only for a single sim. But my issue with the single bed is I feel like there is not any good mid-century modern styled single beds. Like I feel like all the best mid-century modern styled beds are the double wide ones in the game, and that was really irritating me because I wanted to find a nice single bed, and I feel like nothing really looked that good. So at first, I have this green bed there, but I really wasn't liking it. So pretty much I think it's after I decorate the rest of the room, I end up changing the bed to one of the beds from Tiny Living, and I just use like the brown swatch one, which is so plain and so neutral, but I just wasn't liking the green of the bed in that I originally picked. So I don't think I mentioned yet that this is built in Oasis Springs, and part of the reason why I chose to build this there is because that's pretty much the aesthetic of this world anyway, of the Oasis Springs world. Like pretty much all the houses that are already made in the game are in a mid-century modern style. So so I figured it would be like the perfect place to put it because it matches pretty much with the neighborhood. And I don't know if you can see anytime in the video, but like in the background there's like this diner with like a really 1950s looking sign to it too. So when I was doing the screenshots, I thought it would be so cool if I could get a shot with the sign in the background too, to really add to the 1950s vibe of it. But I don't know if I actually did or not now that I think about it. But I don't know, you might be able to see it in the screenshots at the end. I don't really remember, unfortunately. But yeah, so for this house, like many of my builds, I did struggle a little bit with the landscaping, although I think it did turn out pretty alright. There were times when I stopped recording and I was just experimenting with different things, because if I had kept it in the video, it would have been so much longer. Like this video is 3.5 hours worth of footage condensed into only 10 minutes. But if I had kept the extra stuff of me like playing around, it would have been an extra hour of footage. So I kind of kept some of that stuff out because I really had no idea what the heck I was gonna do, and because I didn't want anything that was super elaborate or anything like that, but I still wanted it to look mid-century modern-ish, you know what I mean? And I think that it was important to have the pool here too, because I think pretty much a lot of the mid-century modern homes that I've seen have pools in the backyard, and it wasn't a huge yard anyway, and since it is an Oasis Springs and it's desert, I was thinking that they would probably want a pool, and you know, maybe just like for friends to come over and hang out, because even though this house is for a single sim, I, you know, put two chairs or two like lounge chairs by the pool, and they have, you know, a dining table for 3 and all that, so it's at least big enough that they can have people over and it can accommodate friends and everything like that. But yeah, I really do like the way the landscaping turned out in the end, although it did take me quite some time to figure it out, but still. Anyways, I think the screenshots are coming up because this is pretty much the end of it after I furnish all the backyard and everything like that. So please be sure to stay for the screenshots, give this video a like, or you can leave a comment if you want, and please also remember to subscribe to my channel to see more builds from me in the future. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!